What's up, everybody? This is BakaBites. I'm Frankfurter. That is Magically Average, and today it is Magically Average's birthday. He is a birthday baby bird boy man person. So
You
yes,
said you thought of another word for the alliteration. You
and then I
promised
just
me.
couldn't remember which one,
You
which word,
promised
and
me.
my brain just spat it out. Anyways, happy birthday, buddy!
Thank you.
Today we're here to talk about more anime in pop culture, but specifically today we are here to talk about anime in spurts. The good old sports, the good old foot handball game, the good old pass, touch, kick, footy game. Yes, sports. Everybody loves sports, not really, but a lot of people who play sports love anime. And we're here to talk about that because in the past week? Like so many different
Oh,
things has happened
this
in regards to anime in sports.
this New York Times article that I have up on the screen right now came out yesterday. Like
That happened yesterday. The article after that was early July. Another one was, well, that was last
last
year, but
year, but I mean, there's been a lot
yeah,
this season, we'll say, for the
so
2024
far.
season.
That's true. There's been a lot in the past year, especially in sports. So we wanted to I know we've done episodes previously like anime and pop culture, but today we want to focus on the sports because a lot more has happened over the past few months, past couple weeks. So let's start off with that first article that you were referring to. New York Times athletes go Super Saiyan for anime. Oh, excuse me, I almost choked on my spit there. Basically, this is just going over Jamal Williams and his love for
Well, it's not
all
just
things
Jamal.
anime. It's not just Jamal, but it starts out talking about Jamal, and then it just kind of goes into more different athletes talking about Avatar: The Last Airbender, which per our last episode or two episodes ago, it's the most anime, the like closest you're gonna get to anime in the Western world,
Thank you.
without it being technically what anime. I don't know, whatever your technicality wants to be about it.
Just
But
Western anime.
talking about Avatar: The Last Airbender, Dragon Ball Z, and just kind of bringing that into the locker room and their game. But I know I've kind of just glanced this. So you could probably go into more detail about it without reading the entirety of
Yeah. Well, I mean,
the article.
I know most of the athletes too, just through watching sports. Because, well, and I should say too, the reason why we're having this topic today is because as of recording, it's Monday Night Football right now, but it's the start of the NFL season for 2024-2025. So football's back. We have baseball nearing the end into the playoff season. We have got hockey and basketball starting in the beginning of October. The Olympics just, wrapped up like not like a month ago, I think, just around a month ago in Paris. And sports has basically been like in the news consistently throughout most of this year. Right. It's going to continue on through the end of the year, obviously, because if you live in America specifically, foosball is life. Foosball is God. Foosball is all you need in the world. So that's all you're going to hear probably for the next, 5 months. But
Yeah.
from that, though, there's been a lot of like little clips here and there of athletes doing like weird poses and flashing weird things. People are like, what is that? What are they doing? Oh, they're so quirky. And then all the weebs are like, that's some anime shit right there. That dude's doing fucking Frankie from One Piece, or that guy's doing a Kamehameha from Dragon Ball. Like it's becoming more prominent, not even just in like a pop culture too, like expanding beyond like, sports entirely too. Like there's references all the time. And yeah, and the article points out, some key, I guess, big names within the sports world. Jamal Williams, who you mentioned, who's a running back. He started with the Green Bay Packers, went to the Detroit Lions, is now with the New Orleans Saints. But he's been like a huge nerd forever. Like loves Pokemon, loves Naruto. Like when anyone goes to practice and he sees them with like any anime gear, he's like, "Yep, this is what I want. I don't want to sign footballs. I want to sign your Pokemon cards. I want to sign your manga. Like that's what I want." So he's super cool. Israel Adesanya, like massive UFC fighter, is a middleweight. I'm pretty sure he's middleweight. Just like big name. Had the belt for quite a while. Has always gone by the last style bender. Always does, like a pose at the end. Came out
Yeah.
one time when he was fighting. I'm gonna go really deep into UFCs for a second, so bear with me. Was
He
fighting
is also
Robert
middleweight, by the way.
middleweight. Yeah,
Worth
see, it's up there somewhere. He was fighting Robert Whitaker for the belt in New Zealand, I believe, and came out with like a whole like Naruto ninja routine with like dancers around him that were like just doing flips and shit, and they were all in like ninja gear. It was sick. So like he's a big nerd too. More recent for many of you people that like the Olympics, Noah Lyles, 100-meter dash, the fastest dude on earth, basically called out Tyreek Hill, who's the fastest football player, and saying like you won me, pussy. Um, did the Kamehameha Dragon Ball Z reference and stuff. So like it's just a bunch of stuff like that. Like people are geeking out over, and it's just fun to see. And it's not
Yeah.
like it's also not one of those things where they're doing it because anime is more popular. They're like genuine fans of anime and that type of culture too. It's not like they're just, I guess, jumping on the bandwagon, so to
Yeah.
speak.
And I just especially like, I mean, back to Jamal Williams. Like, there's been so many clips of him over the summer where in the preseason people are being interviewed, and there's one specific one where one of his teammates started trashing One Piece, being like, it's so slow, it takes forever
Yeah,
for it to be good, and
yeah,
he's just in the background, you could hear him shouting, "Don't you be talking shit about One Piece,
yeah,
don't you be doing it." It's just like, it's so entertaining because, like, legitimately, I mean, there are people who are in the weeds, and then there are people who are more casual fans, which is fine. It's great. It gives the medium, exposure that it generally would never get.
yeah.
So it's just funny to see all the Jamal clips, and like even him going to the Pokemon tournament. He's like, "So why are you here?" Because I like Pokemon and I'm here.
He's basically like the adult version of the I Like Turtles kid, but
Yeah,
just for Pokemon.
essentially. And it's so endearing to see that, like, that it's not just something that it's like, oh, I'm just following the trends. It's just, hey, I legitimately like these things. I show up for these things, and
Yeah.
I enjoy talking about these things with locker room buddies and whatnot, and teammates. I don't know why I couldn't come up with the word teammates, and I came up with the word locker room buddies.
That's a rough go.
Yes, dude, my
They're shower
brain's
pals.
just
There's
my
a
brain ain't that busted, but it's busted tonight.
there's a quote in the New York Times article too from Jamal Williams where he says there's more nerds out here that can ball out and like anime. After he corrected a reporter who mispronounced Pokemon, and then followed up by saying, "You don't have to be the stereotype where all we do is rap or play ball." So it's like it's also nice just to have someone who's in the spotlight. He's a professional football player. Plays for a huge, well-known team. Saying stuff like that too. It's just it's always a good thing for the anime community to know that there's other people that aren't the quote unquote stereotypical anime fan who like just goes to conventions and is like, "Bleh," you know.
Smelly, smelly boy.
Yeah, yeah. I didn't want to say it. I just wanted to just stick with the meh.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, I mean, there's a ton. The article goes through a lot of different athletes too. I wish I had like a full clip from the Olympics, but there were like a ton of references throughout the Olympics. I know like from different countries too, like not just specifically the United States or from Japan. I think there was a Japanese gymnast, I believe, who did I can't remember if it was JoJo's pose, like Jotaro, like just pointing or something or what. I can't remember, but there were like JoJo references. There was a ton of One Piece references. There
The
were
whole Japanese team, volleyball team with the
oh
haiku
yeah, the
music in
haiku,
between sets and
yeah,
whatnot. Like,
yeah,
yeah,
exactly, yeah. So it's just fun stuff like that. The article I have up right now, it's still the New York Times article, but they talk about Joel Embiid, who um, gets a lot of flack for the basketball player that he is, but watches Dragon Ball GT, I guess
which,
when
God, of all the Dragon Balls to
I
watch,
know.
GT.
I forgot about this too. Coco Gauff, who is the female tennis player, when she won one of the U.S. Opens, I think she made mention of like just wanting to go back home and watch anime or something,
Yeah,
which is always funny. Miles Garrett, we had a picture of him at the beginning. He was wearing a All Might visor within his helmet to practice a couple years back. Um, he's now watching. Miles Garrett is now watching Jujutsu Kaisen and Trigun, and estimated that
Which
about
thank
he
love the Trigun shout out.
yeah
Love that because if it's the original, it's still a good show. But I mean, Trigun Stampede definitely needs more people to watch it. People give it a lot of flack without watching it because they're like, "Ew, CGI, it's all 3D." Like
yeah.
it's phenomenal. It's great. I cannot wait for season 2, whenever that is.
Al-
Orange, please, please, I need it.
Also in
I
the
need it
article
now.
on the same paragraph too, or the same sentence, from Miles Garrett, he made mention that he estimates that about 60% of NFL players are casual anime fans, and then Zion Williamson, who's a NBA player, actually told GQ a few years back that the NBA number was even greater. So, just some fun
Yeah,
stuff. It's always cool to see, you know, people that don't fit that stereotypical mold of like what an anime fan is portrayed as, and coming from athletes from around the world. It's fun to see. I have a picture of Israel Adesanya up here, and he just looks so intimidating.
menacing.
His stance when he starts, he does the Rock Lee with like the fist behind the back and like the hand forward. So
Yeah.
he's a big anime nerd like everyone else too. So, but yeah, definitely go suggest reading the article too. Just if you're a sports fan or not, it is just cool to see athletes from all different types of sports and from around the world talk about what anime is for them and how they use it to kind of separate themselves from the field or the court or wherever they're playing, and just kind of
Right.
relax and have time for
Also,
themselves.
Also, again, this article, New York Times, written on September 8th, 2024, by Emmanuel Morgan. So,
Yes.
just as a heads up, we'll put the links in the description as well, so you can read it there.
Yep.
But yeah, no, I think that's a good kind of general broad sense. But then we also have kind of like it's one thing for teams and teammates, or not teams, but like individuals being taking an interest into it as more a team actually doing it, like an organization doing it. And we've seen a lot more of that from the end of last year till now.
Yeah.
And the next 3 articles that we're going to go through are basically just examples of 3 individual organizations having separate nights, quote unquote, to celebrate anime and anime adjacent events. So the first one we have is from my ever favorite comicbook.com,
Yay.
written on July 16, 2024 by Evan Valentine. Basically, the Major League Baseball Texas Rangers organization announced a My Hero Academia event in which they basically had custom jerseys that were, I believe, for sale, and just kind of celebrated My Hero Academia and just did a crossover. Like it's kind of interesting to see.
Yeah.
But yeah, the article goes, My Hero Academia is no stranger to the world of baseball. In 2022, Deku and his fellow students at the UA Academy had a friendly skirmish, yada yada yada. My Hero Academia Hero League Baseball was a special episode that wasn't quite okay. We can skip that. It's
Yeah.
fine.
Well, it's weird. It's weird that they reference that in the article because the jerseys themselves don't even have that. It's just the My Hero
Right.
Academia like patch with the Texas Rangers logo in the middle. They have the My Hero Academia spelled out on one sleeve, the Texas T on the other one, and then it says Midoriya 18 on the back.
Yeah.
It's pretty cool, honestly, for like an event jersey. Because I've been to a couple of like hockey games and baseball games where they have like all the event jerseys they give out, or whatever, being like the first 5,000 people in the stands get their into the stadium get this, and they're okay. You probably go to your local grocery store and like grab one of these for like 30-40 bucks, right?
Yeah.
These ones actually look pretty cool, I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, I agree. I did click their link to see like, oh, to go to the Texas
Yeah,
Rangers
it's
website,
just
and
like
it's
it's
just like
sold out.
it's no future events. They don't have the
Yeah,
past events on
I was
there.
trying to look
So
for it too, but oh god, this article is crazy to go through. I'm just gonna stick on this picture.
yeah, it's not a great article. They basically just describe the episode, and then they're like, hey, if you want to know more, go to this website,
Yeah,
and here's like the blurb, and in which the blurb is, immerse yourself in the world of heroes at Globe Life Field with our first ever My Hero Academia night. Theme night tickets purchased through this offer will receive a co-branded My Hero Academia / Texas Rangers jersey, which
So you had to
you just
buy,
got done describing.
yeah, you just had to buy the ticket package or whatever. So that's cool. Yeah, I mean,
Right.
to kind of to what you were saying at the beginning though, like where we started off the episode talking about like athletes expressing their love for anime. These are examples where like anime is being like directly injected into the fandom, right?
Yeah.
So it's one of those situations where it's more of a draw for people that maybe aren't really that interested in baseball, so to speak, but love My Hero Academia, being like, you know what, gives me a reason to go out and watch a game, right? It's kind of one of
Or
those
this gives me a
situations.
reason to actually like buy a jersey without buying a
Yeah,
jersey. So if I ever go to a game again, I have a jersey.
yeah, exactly. Yeah,
Because
it's
if I had known about that night, I would have gone because I live I live in the Dallas Fort Worth area,
yeah.
and I would have just gone to get the jersey, and anytime I go to another game, I just have it.
But the only special night you ever went to for baseball was going to try Pepsi ketchup.
Yep.
So at
Pep,
least you got that on the resume. You don't
pep,
have pep,
what are we?
ketchupsy,
Ketchupsy. That's
the
what you
most
wanted to call
disgusting
it. God,
style. Yeah,
I fucking hate it. Why'd you
yeah.
do that?
I don't know. It's
Anyways,
rolls off the tongue.
but we had another instance late last year, moving on to the next article, in which the LA Rams actually had I almost said Overwatch night. Jesus Christ, my
That'd be
brain
pretty
rot is
cool.
awful. That would be cool. But no, they had a One Piece night, in which it was just basically, they had like the theme music going. They had One Piece kind of basically the straw hat on the jumbotron. It was a fun time. It was just kind of like a low key type of night. But they also did have a limited edition One Piece rally towel that was handed out to basically the first 10,000 attendants.
Yeah.
So was it like a huge deal? No, not necessarily. But I mean, it's still like good to see, like, hey, come to the game, get a One Piece rally towel, and just if you're an enjoyer of One Piece,
Yeah.
have at you.
Well, and for all of the listeners and viewers too that are not sports fans or just not really aware of like sporting events all too much, to kind of put it in perspective, because I've been to, and this is not me bragging, so don't take it as that. This is me. This is me just kind of setting the stage for what I want to get to.
Enchanté.
I've been to a number of professional and college football games. I've been to a number of professional and college hockey games, basketball games, baseball games, even like golfing events and a UFC fight. So I've been to like a lot of sporting events. I love sports. I played sports my whole life. I'm wearing my new Detroit Red Wings Tasmanian Devil hoodie that I got for my birthday from my wife, and I love it.
A gray T-shirt that I've had
Yeah,
since high school.
it's got a hole in it.
I've had it since high school.
God damn it. Some of us show up clean and ready to go. Some of us show up like they rolled out of prison. But at all of the events, like the special nights or like the sponsored nights are normally like local type things. So like for me, as you can see from my sweater, I'm a big Red Wings fan, and like the Red Wings have like college nights. So it's like, they have all the different colleges in Michigan where it's like, oh, you can get a Red Wings hat in that college's colors, right? Or they'll do like bobblehead nights for like the different players or whatever. Or they'll do like, special pictures of like old alumni that you can go and get signed because they're going to be in attendance, right? There's not like a big collaboration. It's not like, oh, tonight's fucking, I don't even know. I can't even think of something off the top of my head right now.
One Piece night.
I mean, not even that. It's like, it's like, oh, it's Bob's Burgers night.
Unironically, I would show up for a fucking Bob's Burgers
I would show up for a
night.
Bob's Burgers night too. But like
Just custom burgers in the ketchupsy.
yeah, yeah, the fucking burger jersey. Hell yeah, sign me
Yeah.
up. Or like some of the one thing that they do consistently is they have a Grateful Dead night, and they always have like this Grateful Dead jersey that they give out to attendees that like the first attendees that come in. Like that's the one like other entity we'll say, because I don't want to say IP. It's like another like thing that they use to collaborate for like a special night. So nothing
Yeah,
nothing huge.
Right. Like I'm a huge hockey fan as well, and like the LA Kings, they generally throughout the season will have different themed nights as well. Like I know they
Yeah.
have a Mexican Heritage Night where they have the
Yeah,
warm-up jerseys are like heritage jerseys and then they're auctioned off, which granted, good luck trying to buy one, but
yeah.
they do have like shirts for sale and whatnot. So,
And they do all kinds of stuff too. Like they'll do like a pride night. They'll do um they have a veterans night, so they have like military appreciation and stuff like that.
yeah.
Like and then
It'll
for
be
football,
interesting to see if the NHL will dip their toes into into anime. I feel
oh,
like
so,
that's the
well,
one
so
sport. That's like the one sport I feel like that hasn't come close to touching it yet.
yeah. I mean, it's more Eastern European, right? Like heavy, you got a lot of like
Yeah,
Swedes and Russians and stuff like that. I don't know how far anime gets to, um but then like it's like and then football, like I go to a lot of football games too. Like there's a significantly less games than what you have in hockey and even much more so than baseball. And so like you don't really have like special nights. You might have like this is alumni night, so you might be able to meet some of the former players of the team. Whoa, like that, like cool stuff like that. Or like it's rally towel night. Come and get your rally towel. Nothing like huge. So to see something like this from the Rams, where it's like a full collaboration for like an entire game basically, and it's one piece is
yeah,
kind of wild to me. I was like, when I saw that last season, I was like, what? It's like a whole thing. They're not just
yeah.
like giving people a sticker. It's like it's like on the jumbotron and like they're playing the music and everything, and they got special rally towels. I was like, what? That's awesome.
I know. Another awesome thing that LA sports have done
Yeah,
recently, which
yeah,
I'm a huge fan of.
yeah.
There's one thing that we didn't talk about that happened earlier in the season, so I've pulled it up for myself,
Oh,
and I'll talk more upon it. But earlier this summer, July 5th, they had Hololive Night, in which they had three VTubers. Not necessarily. I don't know if they were there live or if they were just
they were
pre-recorded, but like
no, I think they
they,
were. I think they were
yeah.
like live streamed in at one point. I thought.
Yeah, so they had like a Hololive night and they just had like three of their VTubers there doing things at the game, including one of the characters, I believe it was Guar or Gura,
Good.
the shark girl, singing the seventh inning stretch song,
Yeah.
which is fucking hilarious. And people are like, what is going on? And
Well,
then after the game, they had a drone show too, like a Hololive drone show.
yeah. Yeah, it was the three lineup on the lineup were Usada Pekora, Guar Goda, and Hoshimachi Suisei, I believe.
Yeah.
That's how you pronounce them all.
Guagura is really just like a tongue
She's
twister,
yeah, and
but also huge.
she's also probably the most popular. I mean, all three of the Hololive VTubers are like really really popular. I think Guro's probably the most popular.
Yeah.
But yeah, I kept seeing tweets and stories coming out from this and being like, I think the funniest one I saw was my dad didn't know what the hell a VTuber was until the Dodgers came back in the seventh, and now he's a big Gura fan and like watches Gura like stream. I'm like, that's so good. That's fantastic. And I think like they had jerseys for sale. I don't think they were given out. I think they were for sale. And there were videos coming out, and whether or
They
not
had 3 limited edition Hololive promotional baseball cards.
oh, okay. I thought they had
So,
jerseys too because I
I'll
saw
double
people
check
with
the jerseys,
jerseys.
though.
Yeah. Well, I just because I saw stories of people being like, like the lines were like 3 hours long for a jersey, and I was like, oh my god. But
So, it
yeah,
looks
like
like they had a shirt. They may have had a jersey,
okay,
too.
okay. But yeah, that killed me when I saw that. I was like, this is so funny. I will make the comment though that
They had
it
shirts, by the way.
okay,
It was of each of the Hololive members' numbers and their names on the back.
got it. Okay,
So,
so people
Suisei is 0322, Pecora is 0112, and Gura is 0620.
okay, got it. I will say though, it is funny to me that like it happens during the same season that Shohei Ohtani, a
Oh,
Japanese
100%.
baseball player,
And
comes over.
that is a perfect segue into what I wanted to talk about that we didn't have here, and that is like, hey, we have this superstar from Japan.
Yeah,
He may or may not enjoy this, but we know his fans enjoy it. the organist for the Dodgers ended up playing random anime theme songs.
No, it's not random.
Or not random, but like it's their favorites, like his and his
No.
wife's.
Yeah, it's his wife. His wife is the one that will pick his walkout songs when he goes up to bat, and it's always anime theme songs. I remember one because my wife sent me a clip of it. He came out to, I think, Giorno's theme, I want to say.
Yes.
It was one of the JoJo songs, which there's a ton of. But I was like, yep. It's hard to hate a guy like that. He's just such a good player.
But the organists, they played like the intro to Jujutsu Kaisen, Attack on Titan, and Sailor Moon.
Yeah.
Which is hilarious. Like the organist did that. I know the whole pickup the songs themselves for the walkout songs, that's his wife, but like those themselves are just like kind of like, okay, these are popular, and I know like I think his wife really likes Sailor Moon, but I'm not sure about the Attack on Titan Jujutsu Kaisen.
Yeah.
Where that came from, if it was just a personal favorite of the organist, but yeah, it was just also kind of fun to see the person playing the organ at the baseball game just pop in like, let me bust this out real quick. It's just, yeah,
it's too good.
I remember when I saw that clip, I was like, God damn, that's great. But yeah, like it's fun to see organizations as a whole kind of getting in on this and just enjoying it with the fans, and it's kind of bringing in those fans to say like, hey, if we do more of these, like they'll come, hopefully. But go for it.
I was gonna say, like, kind of on the topic of like selling merch and stuff too, and I have it up right now.
I was gonna segue into this too.
Yeah, it's not. This one's more of like, it kind of feels a little bit more forced, but it is an actual collaboration. NBA Lab, Hyperfly, and Crunchyroll did a collab to produce My Hero Academia jackets for a handful of the NBA teams, all of which have like All Might, I think, on it, doing some sort of smash. Immediate nitpick, not just because I'm a homer, is he has a literal
what?
A homer.
Oh, you lost me there, but okay.
You don't know what a homer is?
Nope.
Like a home fan, like slappy.
Nope.
Homer.
Sure.
Okay.
Nope.
All right. Anyway,
that's the first time I've heard that. So.
All right. Well, everyone learned a new word. He has a literal move in the show called Detroit Smash, and there's not a fucking Detroit Pistons jacket or hoodie or shirt. He has a literal move. It said he yells Detroit Smash like 10 bajillion times, him and Midoriya, and there's no Pistons. And that's why it makes me a homer, because I'm a Pistons fan. But
weren't the Pistons like the worst in the NBA last
season? You know what? But I can't. They're my home team, man. I grew up watching like Ben Wallace and Chauncey Billups and Rip Hamilton just like tear through teams. All right, Pistons fan for life.
Fair enough. But
that's
it looks like they have Golden State Smash, Los Angeles Smash, New York Knicks Smash, Chicago Bulls Smash.
What are you doing? What are you doing? A smash or pass? Are you just doing smash or pass?
They literally
Los
are
Angeles.
all just smash.
Chicago smash. Yeah, I mean they picked the high profile teams. They picked the teams that win championships. It makes sense. New York Knicks maybe not so much, but
no, but they do have a lot of
they have Boston, they have LA. Yeah. I mean New York's
they
big.
got the big teams.
New York's a big market. But yeah,
looking at them, it's really unfortunate. I would say, for the fact that like all the backings for like the nice jerseys, they're all the same. They're
they're all the same.
It's just All Might with the basketball like palming it, and it's kind of a whooshing circle around him.
It sucks even more too, because like I'm gonna get super nitpicky now. I'm showing the Chicago Bulls one, and like the T-shirt is sick. It's like Chicago Smash. It's got like the looks like kanji or hiragana right above the Bulls logo. It's got something on the sleeve. I'm like, that looks sick on the front. Same thing with the jacket. That's like that's like a 90s style like jacket, and on the front it looks sick. And then the back's just fucking this derpy ass All Might with a giant basketball. He's just palming it, coming through like a vortex.
And it's the same back for
it's just carbon. Jacket. It's just copy paste with a little bit of different shading on the basketball. Yeah,
I don't know if this was a Crunchyroll decision, if this was an NBA decision, but like it's
probably a Hyperfly.
as good as it is to see anime merch in getting that crossover, what the fuck? Like,
Yeah, a
it's so lazy.
little bit of a letdown. And I don't know, I don't really know how these sold too. Honestly, I don't, I didn't
If you want to
hear
know, just click into it and you'll see that for the Chicago Bulls, every size is
is
in
still
stock.
available. Let's check LA real quick. We'll check
The
the LA
only one
one.
that like is not really in
Ugh.
stock is the Boston Celtics hoodie, which only has smalls and mediums left.
Yeah, but I mean they just won a championship, so. And
LA has
even theirs
small,
is kind of
medium,
eh.
large.
Oh, it says
Yeah,
My
like
Hero
this.
on the sleeve. Okay. Yeah,
Basically,
they
all the sweaters are almost all available in small and medium. Or no, they're all available in small and medium. Some are large, and then Golden State has XLs in stock. Like
is
these
it
did not sell well.
rude of me to say that these kind of look like the type of shirt or hoodie you would get at like the mall where it's like design your own and someone just went slappy with it?
Can I one up you and just say this is like the kind of hoodie you would buy at like the kiosk in the mall where it had like the fucking Bugs Bunny with the Tommy gun type thing,
Yeah, I know what
like
you mean.
yeah, or just God, it was Bart
Yeah,
Simpson with like yeah, I don't know, just it's
it's
really like it's great to see, but be better
it's
because it's lazy.
but this is an example of kind of the forced promotion, I would say, where it's like I don't know if many people are asking for this type of gear. You know,
Yeah,
I don't think people are like clamoring to get their hands on like specifically like I love my hero and I'm a massive Golden State Warriors fan. Holy shit, you just answered my prayers by making this. I don't there's not many of those people. I think making sports gear look like anime merch some way or like having like a twist to it, maybe not like exclusively partnered with like a show, but just kind of like generically, right? Like having like a cool vibe that makes it feel different. Like that's something that you can get by, right? Like
yeah,
they're like the one I'm wearing right now, right? Like these were like all the rage in the 90s. Like all of like the
yeah.
Looney Tunes like themed sports gear. Like that was it. Like you wanted that. You wanted fucking like Bugs Bunny on a shirt or was it Sylvester the Cat? I know he was on a couple of shirts like for like different teams and stuff. Like you wanted those shirts. Like those were cool. But like this, I don't know. This one just missed the mark, but it's a good, I guess, start or maybe like a
Yeah.
good entry point to see what we could do. Speaking from like Crunchyroll, right? Like what we can do with other organizations, other major sports organizations, to maybe like get into the market somehow. Like try to connect or build that bridge between the anime fans and the sports fans because there's some in between, right? There's definitely some in between. We saw that from the New York Times
To
article. It's
put
just
this into to sports terms, this is a swing and a foul ball.
there you go. There you go.
So we're getting there. We're getting there. Just chip away at it, and we'll finally, maybe get something halfway decent. But the last thing we wanted to talk about is something we can't even really show,
Yeah,
unfortunately. It's
this is
something
my
that I
fault.
personally haven't seen. It's not your fault. It's not
It's
your
my
fault.
fault. It's all my
It's all your
fault.
fault. You fumbled this one. All
It's
right.
all your fault. It's all your
All
fault.
your fault. Anyways, last night NFL Sunday kickoff, or I shouldn't say last night, yesterday morning NFL Sunday kickoff happened, and near the end of the show, they had a Cowboy Bebop inspired outro, and I don't know exactly what that all entailed. If it was just kind of the stylistics of it, or if it
Yeah.
was, you could talk more about this. But someone somewhere out there, if you have NFL kickoff from September 8th recorded, please, for the love of God, send us a link
It happened
because
at
we need to
like
put this out.
11:08 a.m. somewhere on there. I don't know. Can't remember the timestamp. But yeah, I was watching
Right.
it. I was watching it. I was like multitasking yesterday. I was watching it on my phone and like out of the corner of my eye, I'm like, okay, they're going to commercial break. They always do an outro of like, here's what's to come next on, our show. And I saw like flashes of light and I looked over and I was like, holy shit, that's Cowboy Bebop. Like it was instantaneous. I was like, that's Cowboy Bebop. And it was basically the intro sequence where it's like all the words on the screen, and then it just starts doing like the cross sections of stuff, and like people start walking, and there's no music behind it. It's like the generic like NFL Fox kickoff music or whatever in the background, but the animation of the entire outro leading to commercials was exactly like Cowboy Bebop, like to a T. Like the font,
Their intro rather than they did an outro of the intro.
correct. Like the font style they chose, the color schemes they chose, everything about it, like how they shadowed the different like figures on screen and like mirrored it in like different windows with the cross sections, like everything about it, I was like, first off, immediate claps to whoever in the design team or whomever in
package, yeah.
Yeah, like I don't know whose nuts you had to yank to get this across the board for Fox NFL Sunday kickoff to go forward with it, but bravo, you must not have told them where it originated from or what I guess inspired you to make this creative choice. But regardless, kudos. But yeah, I was like, okay, this is super interesting. This is the most like to a regular viewer, just be like, oh, okay, this is just kind of a cool like outro sequence. Like I like it. I can dig it. It's interesting. I like the vibe. But again, it's one of those situations where like, just like watching the Olympic powerlifter from the U.S. do the Frankie, you're like, oh, I know that. Yeah, that's exactly. You turn into Leonardo DiCaprio.
Yeah, pointing at the TV, like, I know that.
Yep, and you're like, I know that. That was exactly me. I was like, that is Cowboy Bebop. And yeah, I painstakingly, at first I tried to record on my phone. I realized YouTube TV don't like that, and I was like, oh poopy. And then I couldn't get it fast enough on my TV before they already had switched across. So I was like, ah, dang it. I was like, surely the internet won't fail me now. I can find it. Nope. Can't find it anywhere. But I have the Reddit.
We did spend about a solid half hour before the show trying to find this on top of whatever you did.
Yeah, I was like, I already spent a bunch of time trying to look for it too. But I have the Reddit post up to make sure I wasn't going crazy because someone else was watching it and they posted it like immediately too. It was like I saw it and I looked online and the first thing I saw was this Reddit post. So I was like, oh, thank God, someone's with me.
Oh, thank God.
They were like, oh, thank God. But they were like, yeah, was watching Fox NFL kickoff and they had Cowboy Bebop inspired outro. Did anyone else capture it? And everyone's like, yo, I saw it, but I can't figure it out. Where to find it? Clip it. So yeah, that's something like that. Like, again, it's not in your face. It's not abrasive. It's very subtle, but it's enough to like, as an anime fan, you go, that's sick as hell. That's sweet. Kudos. Like you see the like influence that anime can have on like pop culture, on sports, on music, everything, right? And it's just it's nice to finally see it more and more where it's not like a gimmick. It's not like just one of those passing things where it's like, oh, it's a fade, it'll go away.
Yeah.
Or a fade. It's a fad. Thank you.
A fad that's fading.
It's a fad that's fading. Exactly. It's pretty much cemented now as being like a key piece to today's culture. Not even like youth culture, really. It's like people our age. Like it's like athletes that are 24 and older that are like doing all these references too. It's not like they're like young kids coming out and posting shit online about it. So it's just it's again, I know we repeat ourselves a lot, but it is really encouraging to see. It's very refreshing. It's nice to know that it's becoming more and more popular, but in a good way. Like it's not being overly like saturated with people just being like, yeah, I'm an anime fan, and then like just using it as a stepping stone to like promote their products or become internet famous or whatever, and they're not like they're not like spreading it for good reasons. They're just kind of they're using it for clout, right? Like this is more, the more I see it now in pop culture, it's becoming more and more apparent that no, this is kind of like a here to stay sort of thing. And we're just getting started. I feel like we're going to start seeing more really cool collaborations, really cool.
I just love the fact
Just
that the
yeah.
Dodgers went off the fucking deep end and just jumped straight into Hololive like that.
Yeah.
Like there's explaining anime and manga to somebody, and then there's explaining VTubers
You
to somebody, which is like a
you know the
completely different beast
you know the
of a
Dodgers
topic.
the Dodgers higher ups were like, all right, we're going through our event nights.
You
What do
want
we
us to
got?
do what now?
We got what? And someone just does a rail off the table and just goes, my son watches these things online. They're like people, but they're animated. All right. I don't know what technology they use, but let's bring them to the stadium.
It can't be that hot. How hot can it be?
It's genius. They're not here, but they're here.
We can
on
just
the
put them on the
TV.
jumbotron.
Yeah.
God,
that was the moment that it felt like the Dodgers watched the Rams because they're both in Los Angeles, right? The Dodgers watched the Rams from last year and they're like, bet. And they're like, you think we're gonna
Let me one-up it.
you think we're gonna do anime? Wrong. VTubers. Checkmate.
Wild, fucking wild is what it is. But yeah, no, as you said, I do hope to see more of this in the future. It's been fun to discuss, let alone just kind of like scour the internet and just find these like little clippets and snippets of it.
Yeah.
Hopefully, something happens here in Dallas, the DFW area, that I can go to again. Will the NHL hop into this as well this coming season? The world may never know, but let us know what you think. Let us know what type of collaborations you want to see with your favorite teams. And if you're not a fan of sports, if something like this would actually get you interested in going and getting limited time merch, etc. No, not just like your Tasmanian Red Wings. We can go to the mall kiosk and get another one, okay?
No, this is special.
I know,
wife
but
got
we
it
can
for
go
me
to the
for my
mall
birthday.
kiosk and get another. This time with Bugs Bunny with a Tommy gun.
Yeah, that one. I want that one.
Thank you all for joining us this week. We greatly appreciate it. We will be back next week with a brand new episode. So until then, Spark Triumph. We'll see you then.